If you take a bunch of vitamin D pills and then turn into the sun, you're going to be like, oh, that was a mistake. Whereas if you only take one, then you can take 2 and 3 and 4. So I guess this is more focused at people that are on lockdown right now, and you're on lockdown, I'm on lockdown, and some people in the comments still go, you're looking smaller, Simon. Yeah, well, you know why. Why you got to come at me, you son of a gun? Anyway, doesn't matter. But these are still a few tips and a few tricks that you can either use at the moment to try and maintain your muscle mass and your muscle gain. And of course, you can use them when you are back out in the real world and we get to go to gyms again and be happy people. But my name is Simon Miller. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate it. Just a dude that loves lifting weights, and I love YouTube. So you put those two things together, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and yeah, here's a bunch of tips and a bunch of cheats you can use to keep your muscle gain. Regret it. Number 7 is eat everything. No word of a lie. I had this conversation with someone the other day, and they said to me their sole focus and their sole goal throughout lockdown is to not lose any muscle. And I said, dude, if that's true, there is a simple way to do it. If you don't care about getting fat and you don't care about your body fat percentage, you don't care what you look like, which is fine, by the way. If that's the way you live your life, who the hell am I to tell you otherwise? Just eat everything. Because if you are overfeeding your muscles, then it's less likely they are going to shrink. Now, obviously, you need to somehow keep up some kind of training plan. Otherwise, your muscles will start to go and you will just get massively fat. But even if you only have sort of basic weights in your house, or you feel like you can have an intense enough workout and you're just consuming a crazy amount of food, then yeah, when you come out the other side, or in general, I don't know, maybe you're going to go away on holiday, or maybe you know that your diet's going to be all crazy and you're not going to be able to do it the way you want. But your main thing is just to keep muscle. That's all you want. You know deep down that I can deal with all the fallout from that later. Then yeah, eat everything. Lee Priest. Look up a guy called Lee Priest. He's a bodybuilder. When he bulked, he dirty bulked. And there's this amazing picture where he's this huge guy with a massive belly is eating like KFC. And the reason he did that, I mean, he had superior genetics, of course, but he knew he would be able to get ripped in a certain amount of time before he did another competition. And he didn't care. So that is a perfectly viable thing to do. Is it healthy? Questionable. Should everyone do it? No. Is it going to make you feel good? Probably not. But again, this is about tips and tricks and cheats. This isn't about the smartest thing you could possibly do. It's about things that you can do should you really know what you want. Eat everything, and you will have fun for a while. Kind of wears off in around about 4 days, but you will have fun for a while. Number 6 is get enough vitamin D. Now, yes, this is very specific to the situation that most of us are in, but there are scientific studies out there that say if you're not getting enough vitamin D, which is the vitamin you get from the sun, hence why trapped indoors, your muscles can't grow and your muscles can't develop properly. And obviously right now, when you're already struggling with your workouts and potentially struggling with your diet and mental health, who knows what else, the last thing you want is to be deficient in a vitamin D supplement. Now, if you're going for daily walks or getting outside, and even if you're not, you're probably still going to be okay. I really do think you'd have to push yourself into a corner. Well, actually, that's not true. I'll switch that around. Most people are actually deficient in vitamin D anyway, but your body can cope with it, and it's all right. But then I guess if you take that back a step more, then yes. I would say it like this. If you're feeling really tired and you're feeling like something is off, just try a vitamin D supplement. You don't have to go crazy. I mean, some people will tell you to make an incredible amount of IUs, which is the scale, whatever word you want to use that you measure. You measure vitamin D in. I would always start off on like 1,000 IUs just to see. You can always go up, right? But it's hard to go down. If you take a bunch of vitamin D pills and then turn into the sun, you're going to be like, oh, that was a mistake. Whereas if you only take one, then you can take 2 and 3 and 4. But I would do some reading on it, doing some research. But that is a thing that can happen. So maybe if you feel like you've got everything else in track right now, but you feel slightly more fatigued and that you're not 100%, it may just be you need to top up your vitamin D levels, and you can't do that with the sun because we're only allowed out once a day. We're in prison. Number 5 is all about cardio. And I don't do this, but I will give you the information, and much like a teacher, I hope you're going to do your homework and go and read about it and see which one you prefer. But there is a very strong case that should you not wish to burn muscle, and you would hold on to muscle, obviously, that stands to reason, don't do steady state cardio. Hand up, I do steady state cardio. I prefer it. And for me, enjoyment is really important. Do HIIT cardio instead. Now, again, the reason for this, I mean, the best way, rather than me go into a bunch of science, is use the athlete or the Olympian, the runner example that people say. When you look at a marathon runner who's obviously doing steady state cardio, they're keeping a pace for a long amount of time. I mean, if you're doing like I don't know how long a marathon is, 24.5 miles or something. You're going for a long time at the same speed, basically. But a sprinter, They come along and they're kind of jacked, right? They're pretty jacked dudes. And what are they doing? They're exploding out of the blocks and they're running for a shorter period of time. And then technically they're slowing down again. So people will say if you want to try and keep your muscle mass, it makes much more sense to do HIIT cardio than it does to do steady state cardio. But I am such an advocate when it comes to cardio about finding what works for you. Because ultimately, I know, boring, it becomes a calorie in, calorie out kind of a thing. And you will know when you're training what suits you better. But it is certainly something to think about at the moment if maybe you're overdoing the cardio a little bit because maybe your diet's gone off or you can't train properly, but everyone can run, right? You can open your door and go for a run. Maybe it would be better if you kind of do 20 seconds all-out craziness, 20 seconds calm down, 20 seconds craziness, 20-second calm down. You can easily do that. No one's going to think that you look nuts. It just looks like you're going quite fast. But look into it. Again, we're talking about cheats, tips, and tricks here. It's something that I did a lot on. I just don't like HIIT cardio. That's the truth. I don't like it. If someone tells me, like I did some HIIT cardio on Sunday for 30 minutes, and it was okay. But if someone said, Mel, you got to do it every day, I probably wouldn't. Whereas getting up every morning and just smashing out an hour steady state on a cross trainer, I'm like, yeah, I'll absolutely do that. In fact, I quite enjoy it, which makes me a disgusting human being. But again, if you're looking for ways and means, that is an area to check out. Number 4 is time under tension. Now, you should be relying or using, I should say, time under tension at all points of your weightlifting journey. And all that means is, so if you're doing a bicep curl that quickly, slow it down. And, so when you're coming back down, your muscle is under tension, like you're straining harder. There are some exercises that I think you should do that with all the time. Like a lateral raise. You can't go massively heavy. I don't know what I'm showing you. You can't go massively heavy on a lateral raise. So to me, we'll knock the weight off a little bit and do higher reps and just make sure your deltoids, again, have time under tension. And again, there are studies, scientific papers that say when you do put your muscle under more strain, you basically increase the amount of muscle cells and things of that nature, which is going to help your muscle grow. But it's a great thing to incorporate into your routine right now because you can do it with everything. So if the only thing you've got is a couple of 20-kilogram dumbbells and you're laying on your floor and you're smashing out dumbbell presses, I could do this all day, just slow it down. Slow it down. I mean, both ways too. I mean, try and focus on the negative more. But even when you're going up, do that whole muscle mind thing where you're really focusing on the muscle and you get to the top and you squeeze it. And when you come down, you're just putting your muscles under as much tension as possible. And then even though you're not smashing out, 40 kilograms, 50 kilograms, whatever it is you usually do, you're still being intense. And you're getting to a state where you're going to break the muscle down and therefore you can grow or at least help keep your gains. So time under tension, it's important. Number 3 is German volume training or just volume training in general. I use German volume training because that's the first time that I read about it. Once more, I would say this may be beneficial. No, because you should change up your workouts, but it could be quite beneficial now to the scenario we find ourselves in. But basically, it should do a crazy amount of reps. So with German volume training, you do 10 sets of every exercise. I can't remember the rep range now, but you can kind of figure it out. You should go 8 to 10 really, because it's volume training. You want to do loads. And obviously you can only work with the weights that you've got because the gyms are closed. But that's crazy. So if you're going to do, let's say, and again, some things you may not be able to do, but you're going to do bench press, dumbbell press, flies, some kind of dip, and something else. I don't know. Choose decline. Do whatever you want. No, I hate decline. But that's obviously five exercises. But if you're doing 10 sets in each, you get into 50 sets. And maybe you want to do some more. There are some dudes out there that do 100 sets in German volume training. And that kind of I don't think you can do this all the time because I think you're going to be exhausted. I don't think anybody is resting and recovering to the point they can get away with it. But to throw it in there from nowhere, your body's going to go, what the flip is this? And it may actually work for a couple of weeks, a month, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, who even knows? You have to listen to your body. You don't really hear a lot of people talk about it anymore because, again, it has been poo-pooed a lot. And I would approach it with a certain amount of caution, but just going nuts on the volume when usually you haven't been doing it before. Again, you're working with the situation that you've got. I'm just throwing it out there. Number 2 is keep your cortisol levels down. If you don't know, cortisol is your stress hormone, and you get that when you're mad or when you're not getting enough sleep. And if your cortisol is up, everything is bad. Your body can't recover properly. It can't grow properly. Your muscles are going to suffer. Your face is going to suffer. Your hair is going to fall out. And you're just going to feel like crap. And isn't it an amazing thing to be told? If you can just take 10 minutes a day to try and zen out, maybe do a bit of yoga, do a bit of meditating, that is actually going to help you keep muscle. Don't you want to do that? Isn't that a good reason not to get mad too? So if something pisses you off, you get that thing in the back of your head that goes, no, don't get mad, your bicep will get smaller. Exaggeration, but you know what I'm saying. It's a great, because sometimes we're stressed and we don't even realize. But I find when someone actually looks you down a camera lens or in your face like I'm doing now and says cortisol levels are important, it may just help. So get an extra 20 minutes of sleep. Have a chamomile tea. Massage your own shoulders. I don't know, put your face in a bucket of water. Whatever is going to make you chill out, you should do it. And again, you are benefiting your body. And we don't talk about this enough. Just try and be neutral and you will get big and jacked, as long as you're doing about 722 other things. And number one is keep up your motivation. I know, that's rubbish, it's boring, but right now, it is so hard to stay motivated because you just want to sit on your couch and eat Cheetos. And Cheetos are great until you look at the nutritional values, you're like, how the hell have you got that many calories into a bag of crisps or chips, I think you call it in America. But it's everything. It really, really is, because if you're motivated, your diet's going to be on point. You're going to force yourself, but you're going to want to work out even though you've only got a bunch of crap weights. The reason I keep going down here, I shouldn't have done that. I've now ruined it, but it doesn't matter. There's a bunch of crap weights down there. My hand is going to go out the shot. It's almost like the basis. It's the foundation. It's the structure to everything else that you can then build upon. So no matter what it is that you have to do to stay motivated, do it. If you just train 3 times a week for now, do that. If training every day is working, do that. Listen to your body and compensate as and when you need. But motivation. And don't beat yourself up if you don't want to do things either. Like really, you could, let's say you've been training as well as you can to this point. If you took 2 weeks off, but you ate well, you're going to be all right. Probably even 3 weeks. You'll suffer a little bit, but it won't be massive. But if that's what's going to keep your motivation up, keep your motivation up. And don't be upset if your motivation does go in the toilet. It happens to all of us, especially when we try to do leg day at the moment. Who can do leg day properly? Just wiggling your leg around like a clown. It's ridiculous. But if you have that, more often than not, you will put yourself in a position so you don't lose any muscle, which is what this video was all about. And that's that. Just some tips, tricks, and cheats. Hopefully they're going to help. If not, there's a comment box below. You can call me a bald asshole and we'll go from there. Please do hit the subscribe button because it's nice to see those numbers go up. It's like self-worth. And hit the like button because YouTube likes engagement. And also, if you want to support me in other ways, I have a Patreon, patreon.com/Simon316. And I got merchandise, simonmiller.bigcartel.com. Always forget to mention that. There is links and information in the description below. But more importantly, I appreciate you watching me and I'll see you soon.